Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing the highly requested long form Q&A video. So I put a question box on my Instagram and got some pretty interesting questions. So these are going to be the most highly requested and the most interesting questions that I got. I have them grouped together by workout related, mentality related, and then more personal goal oriented questions. So I thought it would be fitting, since I'm about to go to the gym and hit some upper body, that I would do a workout question first. So the first question I have is, how long have you been training for and what are your long-term goals? I've talked about it on my TikTok, but I like to separate it into two time periods. So I have my working out period and my training period. They are basically the same thing, but the way I worked out in the beginning versus now is drastically different, and I've made the most amount of progress in the last 3 or 4 years. I had always been active my whole life. When I was younger, of course, I did sports, but when I got to high school, I was running, cycling, swimming, and then I started to get into weightlifting a bit. I went to college, I stopped all activity and I was very malnourished, but I did get back into weightlifting about a year and a half into college, but I was still not eating enough. So I just wasn't as educated before on building muscle as I am now. I feel like I could have made progress way faster, but I've really dialed in my training, my nutrition, and made a lot more gains here in the last few years. As far as long-term goals, I have a body type that I'm working towards, but of course that could always change over time. So I'm pretty much just enjoying the process and seeing where it takes me. So I'm going to get ready for the gym. I'm pretty tired, so I'm gonna get some pre-workout. I'm gonna blast some music in the car, but I did want to show you guys my fit. I'm hitting upper body today, back and shoulders with a little bit of chest. So this is the fit. All right. So this is the fit. This is a new Gymshark crop top. They also have the full length version. I love it. Very comfortable. Wear with anything. And then boxers underneath my favorite sweatpants. It shows the cute little Gymshark above the waistband, which I love. And then these sweatpants just fit so nice, so flattering. So this is the fit. I'll link everything below, including my Amazon headband that I've been loving. I've been loving my headbands. And that's it. I just need to change out of my fuzzy socks. And we're gonna hit some upper body. I wanted to show you guys my workout while also still answering questions. So the first question is, if you had to start over today, day 1, no experience, what would your routine look like? My routine would look just like my current routine. There isn't beginner or advanced exercises. Just because something is harder and feels more difficult doesn't mean it's better for building muscle. I could do some crazy super advanced curtsy lunge, but it doesn't mean it would be better for building muscle than a regular lunge. I moved away from doing lots of high volume workouts with lots of supersets, drop sets, and I had a lot more success with sticking to the basics and not doing a lot of unnecessary volume, but still keeping my sets intense. My workouts are difficult but simple. So if I were to start over today, that's what I would do. I would train how I train now, which is 4 to 5 days per week with 14 to 17 working sets per workout and 10 to 15 sets per muscle group per week. The next question I got is, have you ever lost your love or spark for fitness? Fitness is never going to be something you're 100% into 100% of the time. It ebbs and flows. Sometimes you'll be super into it and motivated, and other times you just won't be. That's why long-term consistency and discipline is important, and that's why I think it's important to have goals outside of just your appearance, because let's be honest, that can take a long time. So having other goals that are more short term are great for keeping you engaged, like strength goals, movement goals, and things like that. My third and last question for this voiceover is, do you ever plan on competing and doing bodybuilding? When I first started this, it was something I was doing for me. I liked pushing myself and I was excited to see where it would go. While I respect the sport of bodybuilding, I don't want fitness to feel like a sport to me. I enjoy training and eating the way I do currently, and I have never had a desire or passion to compete, and bodybuilding is a sport that you need to be passionate for. Going through a cut and going through prep are very, very different. So I've never had a desire to compete, and I don't think I ever will. So we're filming this the next day. I love when the lighting is good. Today it's nice and sunny. So continuing on with the questions though. All right, so one of the most asked questions I've gotten in the last couple of months, and I'm gonna finally go into a little bit of detail on it, is why I'm no longer with Dark Sport. I thought this was a perfect transition since I just talked about my thoughts about me with bodybuilding, and since Dark Sport is a bodybuilding brand, I just felt myself moving further away from their mission and the core of their brand. And even though my partnership with Dark Sport was very successful in the 18 months I was with them, I brought a lot of people to the brand and I grew a lot with the brand. Even though I don't have a desire to compete, I could have stayed. I just felt like when it came to my personal brand and the message I try to portray, I want fitness to be accessible to everyone. And I would get very upset when I would promote their clothes and some people couldn't wear them due to Dark Sport not carrying their sizes. And that's something the whole time I wished was more of the case. So that was one thing. And then the second thing is there was a lack of transparency on what I brought into the brand. So I wasn't able to argue or negotiate in favor of my behalf. So while I still love Dark Sport's clothes and I love most of the people who are with Dark Sport, I felt a little taken advantage of and I felt like I was wronged in that sense. But that's all the tea you guys are getting. I'm sure there are things I probably did that they weren't 100% on board with. I'm very, very happy with my decision. I think it aligns very well with my values and where I see myself going. I am still friends with all of the girls at Dark Sport and there's plenty of codes that you can use who definitely deserve your support. Okay, and then to follow up with that, another question I got is, do I see myself being with Gymshark long term? I do. Guys, I'm older, so I grew up with Gymshark. I was obsessed with Gymshark and I've always worn Gymshark, just not on camera, but I idolized Nikki Blackketter, Robin, Hanover, KK Fit. Those were the ones I looked up to when I started my fitness journey. So it really feels like such a full circle moment that I'm now a Gymshark athlete. And I feel they really align with my values. They are a weightlifting fitness brand that anyone can be a part of. Anyone who wants to be can be a part of the Gymshark family. And everyone with Gymshark is so nice and I'm just so happy with the fit and just so happy with it overall. So I do see myself being with them long term as long as you guys are still enjoying my content. What would my advice be for someone starting a fitness account? Now, I feel like when a lot of people think of this, they are kind of thinking more of the end goal, wanting to get sponsored, sent PR, sent clothes. And I'm pretty sure if you offered that to any gym goer, they would love that. If most were offered a following and everything that comes with it, I'm sure they would take it. But I feel a lot of people aren't willing to go the steps that it takes to get there. I was working my 9 to 5 and then going to the gym, coming home, eating dinner, and by that time the sun had set and I'm trying to get content. And then I would spend my whole weekends devoted to getting content, and any little free time I could find, I was trying to learn how to better my accounts. And it's really hard to consistently put out content when you're only getting 50 or 100 likes. So I feel you have to really want it and be passionate about it through the whole process, and not just be looking towards the end goal of having a sponsorship and being sent things. You have to really want to help people and build a community and find where you fit in and where you can excel. So whether that's education, inspiration, entertainment, and really lean into that and be consistent. Through being consistent and learning along the way, you will figure out where you want to go. There's a lot of trial and error and you will have to change your path slightly here and there, but you will figure it out as you go. I had no clue 3 years ago that I would be here. I even had no clue 8 months ago that I would be here. I've just had a passion for fitness, health, and wellness, and creating around that and building a community along the way, and just having so many people that I could talk to online. And I've just been very fortunate to have people who connect with and interact and support my content. Whew, okay, I think we need some chaser questions after those, so let's do a few more lighthearted ones. So the next question I have is, did you attend college and what did you think of it? Yes, I did attend college. I was there for 3 years and I got a bachelor's degree in psychology. I absolutely love psychology. I loved my classes, but school in general stresses me out really bad. I've never been diagnosed, but I'm 90% sure I'm dyslexic, so I'm always the last test taker. I have a very hard time reading at a faster pace. Everything just took me a lot longer, but I thoroughly enjoyed my classes, and I was gonna go the whole way. I wanted to be a psychologist, I wanted to get my doctorate's degree, and I wanted to do therapy, but I ended up stopping along the way and working a 9 to 5, and that's when I started to grow my social media. The next question is, does my significant other get insecure or jealous about my social media content? So I'm gonna recruit help for this. I'm gonna go grab James and be right back. So I recruited James. James, they wanna know, does my significant other get insecure or jealous about my social media content?
No. That's easy to answer, but it's if you guys knew her, I know her, you would also be unbothered. There's not a person on the planet that understands or knows her better than I do. When you've seen somebody grow that much and you've seen somebody accomplish so much and you've seen their lowest of lows, you've seen their highest of highs, and you know somebody on that level. But there's also part of it, I'm secure in myself. I know what I bring to the table in a relationship. I know who I am. I know I'm confident, but I'm also humble enough to know that and you always should be humble enough to know that you have to keep putting effort in. Like, you can't build a foundation on such a weak platform, right? So our personal life and our relationship and our connection always comes first, and it's always taken care of. And it allows you to build your platform based off of that foundation.
The social media doesn't create the problems, it escalates if you have problems.
Yep.
And I feel like we're so secure in our relationship that there's not really anything to escalate.
It's crazy how seeing men through the lens of a woman, which is like through her comments and through her messages and all that kind of stuff, it really, like, women online have it really difficult because they're seen so physically. Like, people look at her, and the guys that are interested in her, they could not care less about anything about her other than the way she looks. So from her having this following, I'm able to appreciate how difficult it can be for women. Sometimes, like, guys will, like, message her, or they'll comment on her stuff, or they even message me, and they'll say things, and I just could not care less. I genuinely couldn't. I understand that her physique is still a huge part of her fitness page. I understand that she has to show off that physique to share her journey and sort of what has worked for her. I would be comfortable with her being more provocative than she's comfortable being. Like, she could post more sexualized things and it still wouldn't bother me. If you knew her to the level that I did, like, you would understand. Even though I don't want to be on her social media, I do know that I probably will have to be more, just because if she's showing more of her daily life, you know, it's like, I'm a huge part of your daily life. But
yes, so this won't be the last you see of him.
That's it. End of it, I don't care. I don't care.
It's all good. We are now in my bathroom. I figured for the last 3 questions, since they're beauty questions, you might as well go to the bathroom so I can show you guys my products as we're going along with it. I got questions on hair care, skin care, and my tanning products that I do if I self-tan. To run through those, so the first question is, what is my hair care and hair wash routine with gymming so often? I wash my hair twice a week, preferably after my leg days, since those are my sweatier workouts. But I like to start with taking care of my scalp. So outside of the shower, before I even get into the shower, I will use this salicylic acid on my scalp, and I absolutely love this. I've been using it for over a year now, and I can't live without it now. I'll put that all over my scalp and then kind of massage that in with that little exfoliator rubber brush that we all love. And if I'm not doing K18 that day in the shower, I will also put a hair oil in. It just kind of helps protect your hair in the shower. Once I have the hair oil in and the salicylic acid, I will let that sit for 10 minutes before I get in the shower and shampoo. So when I get in the shower and I shampoo, sometimes I will use a clarifying shampoo, other times I don't. It kind of depends on if I'm using my K18 that day or not. If I am using my K18, I will use my clarifying shampoo. But other than that, I always double cleanse. So sometimes I do the clarifying shampoo and then go in with my It's a 10, which I love for my shampoo, or I just double cleanse with the It's a 10. After I shampoo, I will do my K18 if I'm doing it that day, let that sit for 4 minutes, and then I will do my hair mask, which I do every single time, and I've noticed a really big difference from this hair mask in particular. That's it for in the shower. Then I towel dry my hair with these towels that I absolutely love. I'll link everything below. And then afterwards, I'm just gentle with my hair since it's more delicate when it's wet. So I use a gentle brush all of the time, but I don't use a brush and blow dry my hair until it's about 90% dry. So I will like blow dry it without the brush first. And then once it's about like 90% dry, then I'll go in with the brush and kind of do more of a blowout. And then when I sleep, I use these overnight rollers to preserve my blowout, which is really nice, but it's not always the best. I'll be getting some kinks in my neck sometimes, so it kind of depends on if I want to do that or not. But I try to get the rollers more to the top of my head so it's not affecting me when I sleep. And then I use this satin scarf and tie it around my head and clip in the sides so it doesn't move. And I have noticed a really big difference. If you are not using a satin pillowcase, I feel like we probably all know this at this point, you need a satin pillowcase. That'll make a massive difference for your hair and your skin. But also I do like using a satin bonnet or a satin scarf to further protect my hair. Moving on to self-tanner, I often get asked if I self-tan and what self-tanner I use. So yes, I do self-tan. I'm Italian and I do tan pretty well, but I just don't have the patience to sit out. Plus I'm just kind of trying to take care of my skin. I'm very white naturally. This is actually me a little bit more natural right now, but it might be a little color corrected. I self-tan every week. It just makes me feel better, and plus I really like it for my content. I have used Beauty by Earth for a long time, and then I went to Loving Tan, but my favorite now that I've been using for the past year is Coco and Eve. It just lasts so much longer. It smells okay. It doesn't smell bad, so you know, that's a plus. Coco and Eve lasts so much longer than the other two, and it has a green undertone, which I really like, so it really helps prevent you from looking orange as long as you don't sit in it longer than 8 hours. Also, I use this mitt from Amazon, and I haven't looked back since I've gotten it. I love it because it cuffs your wrist. Not only is my hand not sliding out of the mitt, but also it's not moving around within the mitt. It just fits so perfectly, because I know I'll be like trying to put the self tanner on as fast as I can and just going nuts, and then my hand will be sliding out of the mitt, and I just didn't want to deal with that. I get this one off of Amazon. It's nice and soft. It applies my tan nice and smooth, and your hand will be nice and secure. You don't have to worry about that while you're trying to get your tan on. And our last question is one of the most popular questions I always get is, what is my skincare routine and how do I prevent acne? When it comes to my skincare, I am so thankful. I thought I was going to have acne for the rest of my life. I had always had really bad cystic acne, I think for maybe 10 years before I even started doing this. I thought I was just doomed to have acne my whole life. But I have some tips that'll hopefully help you guys. They have tremendously helped me. So I have products that I use that I'll show you, but I also have some basic rules. Starting with the basic rules, I have 3 basic rules. Rule 1, I never ever touch my face unless I freshly wash my hands and no one else touches my face. James knows this, my family knows this. Nobody touches my face, and I absolutely do not touch my face in the gym. If you're touching your face in the gym, stop it. Rule number 2, scents stay far away from my face. Makeup with fragrance is gone. Skincare with fragrance, gone. And I don't even use detergent with fragrance on my satin face pillowcases because fragrance is the biggest irritator of our skin, and I just want to avoid all of that. I want to avoid any breakouts and irritants to my skin. Rule number 3, I try to use gentle products on my skin. Definitely don't use any physical exfoliants, nothing with like beads or anything like that, and I'm just very gentle with the skin on my face. Now that we got that out of the way, let's get into the products. I love the products I use. I use pretty much all Korean skincare products. I think there's one thing or two that are not Korean skincare, and one of those I will be replacing very, very soon. I want to just start with my night skincare routine because it'll make my AM routine make a lot more sense. So in the evening, I will double cleanse to get my makeup off. So I go in with this oil cleanser with no water and just kind of rub that all over my face. Then I will add water and rub the oil in more, rinse that off, and then I will go in with a gentle cleanser like this one. This is CeraVe, and this is the one that I will be replacing soon. It's good, but I just feel like I could do better, and I've heard that it's just not the best. Then we get into the star of the show and what I think has made the biggest difference in my skin, which is my retinol. Now I use a tretinoin, which is a prescription retinol that I get from an online dermatologist. I'm not a doctor. Please do your own research. So what I did with my retinol is I worked my way up with over-the-counter retinol first, and then once I got to like the ceiling of that, I went and got prescription retinol from an online dermatologist. So that's my tretinoin that I use now, and you just keep using it and keep going up in the strength, and your skin gets better and better. Retinol has a lot of benefits. A lot of people get on it for fine lines, which is why I got on it, but it has a lot of other benefits, including acne, hyperpigmentation, texture, and I've experienced those benefits across the board. So I've been on retinol overall for 2 years and tretinoin, I believe, for like a year, and it just keeps getting better. So I wanted to go into that first because everything else is going to make a lot more sense. So everything else I use for products are just very hydrating, and it's because the tretinoin can dry your skin out. Then I use my favorite moisturizer. Now we'll get into the AM routine. It'll make a lot more sense now. So my main purpose with my AM routine is to hydrate my skin. So the first thing I do is splash water on my face before I lock that in with my hydrating products. I go in with a hydrating toner that I just love to spray on my face. Then I go in with this bean essence that I love also for hydrating. And then this moisturizer I love for the morning time, but I will also use my nighttime one sometimes, but this is just a little bit lighter and it feels really nice and fresh. Lastly, I definitely go in with my sunscreen. You want to lather a lot of sunscreen on, and you don't want to get on retinol unless you are also using sunscreen, because that could be more detrimental to your skin. Retinol makes your skin a lot more sensitive. So that's a skincare routine for my face. All of that can be bought from 2 different places. Only my retinol is one place, not sponsored, and everything else, all my Korean skincare is from another place, also not sponsored, but I'll share those links below. And then lastly, so I also get back acne, which has been a work in progress. This is something that I've really tried to prioritize here lately. I kind of like lost hope for a little bit there, and now I look back into it again. So I've been doing some things and I've noticed a really big difference. I feel like that's a very common thing that a lot of people experience, so I wanted to share that as well. One thing I have been doing a lot more lately is wearing a shirt to the gym, because as soon as my shoulders or my back touch the bench at the gym, I will break out so bad. It's just unfortunate, but that's the way it is. So I've been enjoying wearing shirts to the gym to kind of help get that a little bit more under control. The second thing I have been doing is using this antibacterial spray, and I love this so much. You can spray it on your back and on your face after the gym, since we're kind of sitting in our filth until we get home and get a shower anyway. I just love to leave this in the car so that I can spray them right out of the gym. It smells super fresh and it's really refreshing, so I really enjoy it. And then I make sure to get a shower as soon as I get home. I have a bad habit of wanting to sit down at my kitchen table and hurry up and edit my clips from the gym and post content, color correct videos, and just kind of edit and stuff like that. So now I make myself get in the shower and wash off all of that acne causing bacteria. And then when I'm in the shower, I like to exfoliate my back with this. This is my favorite thing for exfoliating my body. It's also really great for getting your fake tan off. And then when I get out of the shower and my back is dry, I put this on my back and shoulders, and all of this has really helped clear up my back acne. So definitely do your own research, but this is what's helped me. You can do anything that kind of exfoliates your back after you get out of the shower, like some glycolic acid is also something that I have been wanting to try, just haven't tried that yet. But that's everything. Thank you guys so much for your questions. I had so much fun answering them. I've just been having so much fun doing the YouTube in general, and I'm looking forward to continuing to do it. If you've made it to the end of the video, I love you so much and I appreciate you. But other than that, I hope some of my answers helped you in one way or another, and you can leave me questions down below. I look forward to hearing from you guys, always on any of the platforms that I'm on. But thank you so much for your continuous support, and I love you all, and I will see you in the next video.